without a shadow of a doubt, is the Cronkite Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to the War Zone. I got my co-host, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetra K, and I am the 5-star general. Say, man, something wrong with some of you people, man. I heard you was hating on the black folk that was showing love for Trump. But tonight we gonna talk about it. Because like the minister say, some of y'all need to take y'all raggedy home. Let's go. Say, man, I want to welcome y'all to the War Zone. It's a Sunday afternoon, and I want to say happy Father's Day to all you good dudes out there. That's just fathers. Whether you handling your business or not, for me, you're a father. Now, how you handle your business, that's your business. But I want to say happy Father's Day to you. And 5-star, man, I had a long night, man. I was with my peoples, and they was buying drink after drink, $50 Cuban cigars. Just got love for my Republican homies, man. Can't wait to see them at the next rally, man. Can't wait to see them at the next Trump rally, man. I'm gonna turn this over to Demetra because I'm a little hungover. Y'all hold on a second. How you doing, Miss D?
I'm doing well. And I'd like to say happy Father's Day to my co-host, who one is very inebriated and one is hungover. So that leaves me that wasn't new, right? The level-headed, sober-minded one. Now I'm putting too much on it, okay? Sober-minded one here. So again, happy Father's Day to you all who are watching. And thank you so much for joining us on this edition of the War Zone. We know that you could be out there having dinner or whatever with your family, but you are here. Maybe you're having dinner and you're here with us watching it with the family. So thank you so much for tuning in. So we are going to be talking about fathers, honoring fathers. So if you guys have anything Father's Day related questions, comments, or concerns, please put them in the comment section. Donovan and I will be monitoring the comments, and we will be highlighting some of you guys' comments. But first of all, we are going to start off talking about a recap of Gary. And I know that he's very tired. He just got back in from Oklahoma, ground zero, where Trump had his campaign kickoff, where it kind of, I don't know, maybe went over like a lead balloon, but we'll figure out what actually happened, what is alleged to have happened with the numbers, the attendance, right? And so, Gary, tell us what you know. What happened since the last time we saw you yesterday?
Based on articles that have come out in the last 24 hours, you had a lot of social media interference, which I know some people that did it that signed up for tickets and just didn't go. So, also while I was there, I noticed that a lot of people were enjoying themselves outside, and it was so hot you had so far to walk to get in. They had the barriers so far back from the venue that a lot of people just didn't go in. They just stayed outside because they made you, let's just say you had to walk about 3 blocks just to get inside of the thing. So, but it ain't how you, I always tell people, it ain't how you start, it's how you finish. It ain't how you start, it's how you finish. These rallies don't get no votes. I mean, ain't nobody pushing no vote machines into these venues, and ain't nobody pushing no votes in there. So, at the end of the day, I was able to talk to thousands of people, white, African American, Latino, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I had a good time. I nobody treated me differently. They understood that I would not vote for him, but they also understood that I would not vote for Biden either. So, I think that's confusion on this show because we don't support Biden, that we're supporting Trump. Who told you that? And I ain't gonna repeat it no more, but I had a grand time after everything was over, sat on the patio with some good people, man. The hell, and they just kept saying it ain't about Republican or Democrat. It's about us being American. And us Americans just sat on that porch, and my good friends just kept ordering them crowns on the rocks and them $50 Cuban cigars, and I just had me a ball. So I mean, that was it. I mean, I met some good people, some good people with some good ideologies, and whatever reason they choose to support Donald Trump, that's their business, and that's what it is. I had a good time.
And so, going along with that, I do have a little bit of feedback. So going along with that, you guys have probably seen or saw a meme floating around, or a picture of an African-American family that was sitting at the Trump rally, right? And so this picture of this family is floated around. I've seen it probably 10 times on my timeline since yesterday and today. And it was predominantly Black people making fun of this family, saying, oh, they were paid to be there, or they're, coons, and, a whole host of things. And I said, well, I'll be damned. Bet you by golly, wow. That's the family that Gary interviewed yesterday. You guys might have saw, it was Gary's first time he went live. And he happened to interview this family. They were walking by, and he asked if you mind if I interviewed you. And they had their 2 daughters and their son there with them. And Gary asked them, a couple questions, why they were supporting Trump. And they, gave reasons as to why they were doing it, business friendly and all of that. And but then, as I said, I saw these memes floating around making fun of them. What kind of Black people are they? And you guys have probably seen, seen the meme. And again, I always say, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Biden supporter. I'm nonpartisan. I'm in the middle. I don't, at this point, care. But to think that all Black people have to be voting for Biden, or if you're not voting for Biden, there's something wrong with you. Or if you're voting for Trump, you got to be cooning, or, you will this, that, and the other. It's like, and a lot of Biden supporters get mad with me when I say you guys are just as bad as the MAGA crowd, calling people names and, saying if you don't do this, then you're that. I'm like, you guys are probably in some regards getting just as bad as the MAGA crowd. Black people are not a monolith. We don't have to do the same thing. We don't have to vote for the same people, but to, label these people as bad people. And I had a spirited conversation with this guy last night. I said, this is borderline McCarthyism. Oh, you're a communist. You're going to hell, or you're Black and you're voting for Trump. There must be something wrong with you. It's like, why can't it just be a Black family sitting at a Trump rally in support of their candidate because he's doing the things or talking about the things that they like? Why do they have to be brainwashed or whitewashed or any of that kind of stuff? And so Lisa says, I'm confused. Clarify, what are you confused about? Because I'm not quite sure what that means.
Let me explain to you what she's talking about. She asked me once again, who am I voting for? And I'm not voting for Biden. So let me tell y'all what I'm going to do. I'm going to down ballot. That means I'm going to skip the presidential race. I don't want nothing to do with it. And if you want to call me a coon because I don't want to vote for a racist, then I'm going to be a coon then. But I'm not voting for that dude, bro. It's not going to happen. So y'all are so stuck on Trump. Can somebody tell me who your U.S. congressperson is? Can you tell me who your senator is? Because if y'all don't know that, then you clearly don't know who runs the country. It ain't Trump, dude. So if you really want to know, I am not dealing with that. I don't want you to be confused, baby. I'm down balloting. And all that means is I'm going to skip that race. I just can't, I can't give my vote away. I'm not going to do it. I don't care what nobody say.
Right. And so I hope that clears up the confusion. But, I just think it's a little bit on the MAGA-ish side, MAGA, to demonize people for wanting to vote for Trump. I mean, who gives it? Like, all All black people don't have, even in the last election, it was 8% of black voters that voted for Trump. And it sounds like it's going to be even more black people this time around voting for Trump, but they have their reasons. And as we said, Gary talked to quite a few people yesterday, quite a few black people. I feel like there's a spider or something crawling on me. Quite a few black people who gave very good reasons as to why they were voting for Trump. And it wasn't, well, I just want some good butter biscuits. Now, of course, we're not talking about that, your Diamond and Silk who are obviously on the payroll. You got your Candace Owens. We ain't talking about those type of people. We're talking about some people who seem like, from what, we saw with Gary's interview, who, seemed like they were pretty level-headed and had their feet on the ground pretty good. It wasn't, a whole bunch of bucking and shucking and all of that. They had their very good reasons, but to demonize them and call them names because they're exercising their American freedoms to what is left of them. And, to call them names, I think that's a bit childish, and you have no standing to talk about the MAGA crowd when you're doing the same thing.
I interviewed tons of black people, on camera, off camera. But I'm not a racist, so I interviewed every race. White, Latino. And like I said last night, I sat on a patio and took pictures with them. These are just regular people that have their own reasons and rationale as to why they are going to support their candidate. So let me ask a question. Did y'all support the mayor of Houston, who's always involved in corruption? Seem to always get caught up in some hiring his friends and his daughter and all that. But you ain't got no problem with that. But as soon as one of us decide we want to support Donald Trump, which those people decided that's what they would do, then they got to be coons and they got to be this and that. Well, I tell you what, I'd rather kick it with a rich coon than a broke one any day of the week. Because it don't seem like nobody bumping their mouth except the broke coons. And ain't nothing like an undercover coon. Because some of y'all cooning for real. See, because you got a choice in the matter. I watch how y'all do it. You can either vote for the massa or you can vote for the overseer. And when y'all keep voting in these Democratic black people that ain't doing nothing for us, you voting for the overseer. So it ain't no better than you voting for the massa. Think about it.
And with that, at least those people who are voting for Trump know why they're doing it. And we ask a lot of Biden supporters, why are you voting for Biden? The number one thing they're gonna say is to get rid of Trump. Not, because Biden is gonna do this for me and that for me and blah blah. It's we need to get rid of Trump.
Well, let me ask you guys this. As you guys have heard, Biden has said the first thing he's going to do when he gets in office is he's going to enact the Dreamers Act and DACA. Now, I want you guys to think about this. We are the deciding factor if this guy gets to the presidency, not the Hispanics and all these other people. That's why they're catering to the black vote. Remember, you black women like to be mentally masturbated, how you're the backbone of the Democratic Party. We're the deciding factor. So do you mean to tell me if we're the deciding factor, we don't get nothing for putting this guy in the White House and you guys are okay with that? I have a problem with that.
I challenge. I'm telling you, after I sat down this weekend, I listened to these people and I spoke to Democrats and Republicans. Let's get that straight. I challenge you to sit down and have a discussion. Get you 2 Democrats and let them bring 3 Republicans and sit there and have that discussion. By the time these people finish telling you, and this is going to shock you, Demetri. I'm there with 6 people that's Republican, right? And all 6 of them used to be Democrat. All 6 of them was Democrats. They say we left because these people ain't been doing nothing but using us for our vote. Now, hold on. Did I sit down with 6 black people? No, these were 6 white people. that said the Democrats been using them for their votes. So I'm sitting there, I'm listening to them, but they not putting, see, I'm getting pressure from y'all. You gotta vote for Biden. The people ain't putting no pressure on nobody. They really not worried about y'all. They really don't care how many people showed up this weekend. Because according to what I understand, they say they're going to dog walk your ass in November. They say it ain't going to even be close. I'm just telling you, sit down and have a discussion with them. Why can't you be open to have a discussion with them? I think you might be afraid to have that discussion because you might flip too.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people who are switching over, though. I'm not one of them. I'm in the middle. I'm nonpartisan, so I've actually switched from a Democrat to nonpartisan. Just becoming a little bit more awake and learning more about what the Democratic Party has actually not done for us as Black people, and really just answering the question in my mind as to why am I giving them my vote, and I've not gotten anything from it at all, but a funky little sticker that says I voted, right? And so I decided, to be a little bit more conscious, if you will, and more responsible with my vote. And I've decided to only give it to those who are going to give me something for it. And I know a lot of people, and you guys have probably experienced this too, want me to shut up. I've been called all kind of names, or what's wrong with Black people? We need to get Joe Biden. All of that. I've heard all of that. But I'm like, I will not shut up. I'm going to keep telling people, or keep impressing them, because I can't tell you what to do, but impressing upon people, think about what you're doing. Be more responsible with giving your vote away. Because most of the people who say, oh, voting is a right, all these people die for it, but most of y'all just giving a vote away like candy on Halloween. You're not even thinking about what you're doing with your vote. So how could it be so important to the ancestors, but you just trick it off to any old body who comes and knocks on your door? So, I mean, I get the switch. I get when you become conscious and you start to really think about what it is you're doing, you start to be a little bit more responsible.
They want Biden so bad. I mean, I understand. I mean, and I will give them the same thing, the same luxury I give to the other side. They have every right to support Biden. I just know in my heart I can't do it. And unless Biden steps to the table and he decides to be truthful, where's the Black agenda? Change your lift every voice and sing thing, get them nuts out your mouth, and come on correct with it, man. Other than that, I don't want to hear nothing from Joe Biden. I don't want to hear nothing from his supporters. I'm gone. I see another lady. Let me see. C. Marie Price say she switched parties now from Democratic to Republican. Y'all have to understand, it's something in the water, because all these people is switching, man. And if you want to keep running with them folk, man, with them games and all that stuff they do, then you got a right to do that. But that's the reason you're gonna get $1,200. That's the reason when them hurricanes come, your help is slow. Because you are allowing them to pimp you. They spoon feeding you money. Or they spoon feeding you money through they help programs. They control you. And that's something that I could never allow somebody to do, is have control over me based on my money, man. Whether he for reparations or not, when he let my partners out of jail, we can have a conversation. If he ain't fighting to get them boys out of jail on them little bogus dope charges, I'm not trying to hear it, man. And I'm going through every hood and remind these dudes. Remember when you did that 10-year stretch? Remember when you did that over 2 rocks? Hey, that's that dude that did that to you, man. Go in the voting poll and vote for somebody else, dog. If y'all think I ain't gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Y'all keep hollering about reparations. That's further down the line. I'm talking about what he can do now. He won't even open up his mouth and say that he gonna try to do something to fix that problem that he created. And if you cool with my brothers and sisters being locked up for long periods of time behind your whitewashed candidate, then I'm going to be here every night beating his ass up.
You know, the funny thing is, you know, we talk about Biden and doing this. To me, the Democrats, if they really wanted to win this election, all they've got to do is say healthcare. With the climate in the air right now, police reform. I'm talking about real, tangible police reform right now. That will walk you right into an office saying that you're getting rid of qualified immunity. A whole bunch of people will jump on that. But guess what? They don't want to do that because they are the phantom menace behind Biden's law. That's the whole point of it. It's kind of like, and I hate to use movie analogies for those of you guys who've watched movies. Remember in the Star Wars saga, the prequels, where Padme said, "Do you ever feel like sometimes you thought you were on the right side, but then you figure out you're really not?" That's where we're at right now. The Democrats, it's like you think into that, you know, you're fighting for this great thing, then you find out, well, maybe we're the problem. That's the problem. The empire is the problem. And that's where we're at. And so what we're telling you, we're not telling you how to vote. We're just telling you, vote your interests and think outside the box. Why hasn't Biden come out and said specifically, I'm going to change Biden's law? That's gone if I get elected. If I get elected, qualified immunity is gone. Tangibles, things that people are going to be, because you know what? They are the phantom menace.
Alton, I'm going to read your question. But Alton, if you don't answer my question, I'm going to delete you from my page. Listen to me slow, brother. Someone please tell me, what is the Republican Party doing for black people? Please answer that question. If a black person is in the right tax bracket, they get the same breaks everybody else get with the Republican Party. Now, this is my question to you. What the hell are your black representatives doing for black people? I'm not saying nothing else. You got 5 minutes to answer that. Since we so worried about the Republican Party, what is your black representation doing for black people? Why are you so dependent on a white man to do it for you? Why you can't hold your own African-American politicians to the same fire? You won't hold their feet to the fire at all. You got 5 minutes to answer, brother. I got love for you. This ain't personal. This business. Because I forgot to tell you I'm a black Republican. Come on, answer the question, man.
And you know, while we're waiting for him to answer the question, nobody has ever said the Republicans are better than the Democrats. And I guess, you know, it's a personal opinion at this matter, but we know that the Republicans don't come knocking on our door every election season lying and kissing the babies, and we gonna do this for you and we gonna do that for you. And black people, we do not overall give our votes to the Republican Party. We give it to the Democrat Party to the tune of, you know, in the 90% give or take of black voters. For Barack Obama, we voted to the tune, I think it was 96% black voters. Hillary was like 88% of black voters. So we give it up for the Democrat Party, but they don't give it up for us. And so you're asking us, well, what is the Republicans doing for you? We know they're not doing nothing for us. But they don't come pandering to us like the Democrats. And so, to Gary's point, the people that you put on the pedestal and you lift up so much, and the Democrats just, what have they done for you? All the lies they've told you all this time, have they ever delivered on any one of those things they said they were going to do? So I get Gary's frustration in that you guys come on here, you know, talking about, well, what about the Republicans? But you never once say what the Democrats have done for you or what Joe Biden is going to do for you. Not one time.
I have a question. Show me anywhere in the United States where a Democratic district looks like a Republican district. Significant difference.
I wanna look at what Coach Craig Morris said, the head coach, Madison boys basketball team, good friend of mine. He said, Trump is done. I want you to stop, Craig, because I need you to sing this with me. them youngsters ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. They can get in the streets all day. They ain't going to them polls. The polls are like kryptonite to their Superman. For some strange reason, they will not go in the voting booth, man. Now they gonna raise hell all night long. They might even throw a brick or two, but they ain't gonna go in that voting booth. They ain't gonna do it. Now, I would challenge Craig, because look at your 18 to 25 just in the community where you coach basketball. They don't vote. They don't vote. So if it's like that there, then it's like that in other places. I wish they would vote. We could get a lot of things done, because we could get some brand new dynamic candidates across the board, you know, city, state, and federal. You see what I'm saying? But because that's the forgotten vote, and that's why the politicians always lean on the seniors, and they always going to them with the turkeys. I even told one politician, can you bring something other than a turkey? Can y'all bring a ham? Bring a ham and some corn on the cob. Y'all done been doing turkeys for the last 100 years. But that's how they get those votes. So if you banking on them youngsters voting, dog, you're going to lose that one in a landslide.
And that's what we talked about last night. The young people are the most, as we're talking about age demographics, they're the most disenfranchised. They don't have anything. They can't go buy a home. They can't pay off these student loan debts. They can't go get, if they're looking for that, a great job. You know, they're struggling because, you know, the rest of us and these politicians have effed it up completely for them. So if you're disenfranchised and you feel like you don't count, you're probably not going to get involved. You're probably going to say, well, why bother? The candidate they wanted, which was that of Bernie Sanders, you know, he got screwed over again. So a lot of them have said, actually, well, since you guys are going to force us to choose, then we're going to choose Trump. We're not going to be forced in to the establishment, or as Biden says, the status quo. We're not going to go with Joe Biden because, you know, that's who you've chosen for us. If we're going to force us to choose, then we're going to go choose Trump.
Well, Craig has made some more comments. He said poor people are mobilizing, and you know the youngsters are being they're being galvanized by protesting. Well, now I'm finna step on some toes. Black Lives Matter. What color are these people? Y'all think there's a whole bunch of black people out there in the streets? I seen them last night. The movement has been hijacked, dude. The movement has been hijacked. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't have a problem with white folks participating and making this noise, but I want them to understand something. If there is a black issue, you can devalue the issue by having somebody else lead the movement that's not black. They look at you and they treat you like you a game. It's a game. So what he needs, if you're looking for these young blacks to vote, brother, they don't vote. Hold on, man. I ran for office. 0.9% is what I got, 18 to 25. They don't vote. It look good right now. Pair of lips gonna tell you everything. It'll tell you anything. And mobilizing does not help if all you're doing is moving black politicians from one spot to the next. You see what I'm saying? That's not mobilizing, that's recycling.
And those people, those young people, especially our people, they need something to vote for. I mean, they've been watching us vote for the same, more of nothing. So why would they go in there and vote? They're not going to vote for, if they go vote, rather, it's going to be for somebody who's going to give them more of the same bullshit. The neighborhoods are still going to be dilapidated. The educational system in the neighborhoods are still going to be jacked up. I mean, it's still going to be a hair salon or a beauty supply, pawn shop and a smoke shop on every corner in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Even the black churches don't really show out and show up and deliver for the young Black people. So why would they vote? I mean, would you go and participate in something that's not, see, and actually the young Black voters, now a lot of them are doing it because they don't really know better, but they actually got the right idea. If you really truly think about it in a kind of a twisted way, why am I going to show up to these voting booths and get nothing in return? I'm going to stay home and play this PlayStation.
Right. If you really look at what's going on here, okay, it's the same thing that happened last time. A lot of your Democratic white women are going to be voting Republican. You better believe that, because that's what happened in the last election. They voted for Trump, regardless of grabbing them by the whatever. And I will tell you this, if they put a Black woman on the ticket as a vice presidential candidate, the Democrats are not going to win, because that's going to galvanize the rest of the Republican folks. So, and then a lot of the white kids that are Democrats that are out there in there protesting, that's going to be a protest vote, because they've gotten fucked over by Bernie Sanders and, and how the Democratic Party did that. They're going to vote Republican as a protest vote to send a message. I think the election's going to be close, but Trump's going to pull it out. I think Trump's going to pull it out.
I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a runaway. I just think it's going to be a runaway, because these people really think that these young Black people are going to come and vote, and they're not coming. That's how we ended up with these suckers in Houston and city council and all this here, because they didn't show up. So we're so y'all are so concerned with Trump. You done forgot about local. We got issues on the local level. We got missing candidates, dudes that they ain't got no houses on their land where they supposed to live. See, that's what I'm telling y'all. Y'all sidetracked. Everything is Trump, 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 Trump. But the biggest headache is us. It ain't Trump, it's us. We're misinformed. We keep listening to the Negro pastor. I love the Lord. You gotta vote for Joe Biden. Man, sit your mother down. Go over there and get the holy water, homeboy. Rub some on your head or something. Put a tea on your head, because that's what you're going to take on election day. You're listening to the Negro pastor. You're listening to these unions that only make money off you. The teachers' unions all across the state of Texas. This is who you should vote for. Why? You can't even help these teachers keep their jobs. Y'all need to stop listening to the same suspects. You worried about coons when you need to be worrying about suspects, because it's the suspects that's doing y'all in.
I want to address Craig's comment. Gary, you crazy. Address Craig's comment. He says, no, sir. Educated white women are done with Trump. They don't respect Trump's intelligence. Are you for real? That's that same ideology. Pay attention just really quick. I'm going to try to be brief. That's that same ideology of when these Black women join arm in arm with these white feminists. Come on, ladies. Let's go burn our bras together. These horrible men are evil. We need to be done with them. You know what? Those white women played the role from 9 to 5, and then they took their asses in the house and had that tuna casserole or whatever it was on casserole, because it was probably casserole.
Shepherd pie. No, the shepherd pie. The shepherd pie.
They put it on the table for when a white man came home, and then they went back out there after he went to work. So they was playing feminism, but it was only us that brought into it. So the point that I'm making is these white women talk a good game, but at the end of the day, they going to take their ass in that booth and vote for Trump, because they also know at what's at stake, and that's their white supremacy. No matter who they want to vote for, they going to do what their husbands tell them to do, and that's take their ass in that booth, and they going to vote for Trump like they did last time. Let me say,
Craig said the only way Trump wins is if the economy comes back. If not, he'll be smoked. I tell you guys, if Trump loses, I'll have Whataburger meals for your panel. I don't like pickles, no cheese, extra mayo, extra ketchup, because I want you to understand. Don't you know all them people I talk to are upset about the economy? Those Republicans, they are. You know what they upset about, Craig? That some people are milking the economy right now. They're using the COVID not to go back to work because they're getting more unemployment money. This is what they're saying. This is why the economy, to a certain degree, is messed up. If you think them people just gonna fall for the okie doke, they not falling for it, bruh. And the crazy part, they all lined up against each other. Let me go to this next comment, if y'all don't mind, Demetri. Now, it covers up Donovan. I'll read it fast. What are you guys missing? Is that he promote racism. He promotes white power. He hopes every person of color dies from the COVID-19. Our people are so scared to get to the polls. He is like most white persons that was taught from a little child that they are better than people of color. Have you a country old bigots? If he is reelected, there will be another civil war. You heard what he said about using military on people. Hold on a second. Them people don't care what you just said, Joe. They can play games with them tickets at them rallies. Them folk love that dude. So trying to convince me is not who you need to be talking to. There are millions of people that love this dude. I'm talking about if you say something bad about Trump, I seen a man last night finna hit a woman because she said something bad about Trump. But they were both Republicans. And I told him, sit your ass down before you knock over my crown. And he sat down because we were going to have a problem you to knock my crown over. But I'm telling you, dog, you saying racism, he promotes racism. Well, Joe hides it in a closet. Joe, what makes him different? Joe Biden hides the racism in a closet, and y'all willing to give him a pass for it? Would you kick it with, would you, if I knew a racist white boy, Joe, from Mississippi, from the land of Dixie, would you kick it with him? You know what you'll tell me, Joe? Hell no. Why in the hell you kicking it with Joe Biden, man? He a Dixiecrat. Man, whatever. That man racist is all I know. I can tell he is. And Joe, I got love for you. Whole bunch of our homies locked up behind Joe Biden.
He accidentally clicked out and hit on. There you go. I want to say this. Craig says he has to go spend time with his family, so we'll see you later. But before you leave, I can't eat Whataburger. I'm a vegan, so give mine to Al. That's one of his favorite places to eat. But I want to also touch upon this whole unemployment thing where he talked about how they are mad that people are not wanting to go back to work. But let me ask you this. If you was making $300 a week working at Del Taco, and then you had to lose your job or whatever due to no fault of your own. The COVID is no one else's fault who lost their job. So all of a sudden, you're getting what you would have gotten in unemployment plus $600 a week. I wouldn't go back to work either. And not only that, the $600 a week plus what they're making is now a living wage. But before, people weren't surviving on $300 a week or however much it was. They're not surviving on that. Now they're able to survive, pay the bills, have a woo-saw moment. They're not stressed. So hell yeah, I wouldn't want to go back to work. And nobody, that's why I said we need to get rid of this idea of normal, or we need to get back to normal. Because in some respects, the Republicans do want people to go back to normal. And that normal is you proletariat, you working class people, get your ass back out there on the stroll, whether it's Taco Bell, McDonald's, Target, whatever, because we need this economy to get back up and running. They don't care about you getting sick. They don't care that you returning to, which is why also the Republicans are thinking about offering an extra $400 for people to go back to work, because when they know when people don't go back to work, that the economy is going to plummet or even be stagnant. So they're even willing to pay people to go back to work. But I wouldn't want to go back to just barely surviving or not surviving either. I mean, you can't blame people for not wanting to go back to normal.
And Joe says, when he brought up the COVID and, folks getting sick. Well, hold on, Joe. I live in Houston. Why won't you hold Turner and Hidalgo to the same degree Because why don't they just shut the city of Houston down? That ain't on Trump. That's on them. He already told them, y'all make them decisions. I ain't got nothing to do with that. So the person that's putting you in danger is the one you don't want to hold accountable. And that was a big thing this weekend when I was talking to people, Demetri and Donovan. They said that nobody wants to hold these Democrats accountable. They say we shouldn't be having all these murders all over the country. They say, but look at it, it's mostly in states and cities that have Democratic control because they don't want to do the work. I'm just the messenger, dog. The numbers, the data, everything is there. Whether you want to accept it or not, it's there. These people are failing, man, and they're failing atrociously.
And then Kathy, how you doing? You say minimum wage should be $15 an hour. It should actually be like $25 to $35 an hour.
Yeah. $15 an hour is nothing. Like I said, maybe, you know, on your region, if you're going to do a national minimum wage, it should be based on the highest area of the United States. So if you live in Texas or Louisiana or Mississippi, where it's supposedly, you know, cost of living is less, you guys would be making a fortune. But $15 an hour living here in California, that's nothing.
Yeah, so
I know people want us to come on here and bash the Republicans, but ain't nobody answered my question. My man never answered my question. What has these black people in positions of political leadership done for their own people? Well, we've been asking that question, for 4 months now? And can't get an answer to it. You know why you can't answer that? Because you realistically don't have one.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm going to be fair. I got an answer. Aunt Maxine, for 30 years, has been working on reparations. 30 years. And I know she's going strong. 30 years. John Lewis, he's going to get the Jerry Pettis, whatever Pettis Bridge named after himself. So, you know, they're doing all this stuff that is symbolism to make you guys feel good, but is actually anything getting done? Absolutely not. And we keep falling for it. I challenge anybody. Look at John Lewis's congressional record, and you tell me if he's done anything for anybody in his district. He signed on to DACA. He signed on to the DREAM Act. He signed on to the Jews getting reparations, which is why I don't understand. Why is America responsible for Jewish Holocaust? All that other stuff. But look at these people's records. They've done absolutely nothing. And yet we keep voting for them.
But how in the hell do you pass DACA and the DREAM Act, but you've been looking at reparations for 30 years? Negroes, how you pass DACA when we've been screaming for reparations for 60 years? How you do that? Because they ain't never tried to pass it, dog. Man, them people, let me tell you how the game go. See, me and Demetri, we sitting next to each other tonight. See, Demetri gonna be the Democrat. I'm gonna be the Republican. This is how the game go. The doors closed, ain't none of y'all around. Look here, man. I got this big money deal with oil and gas. Look, fuck them people. Go out there and tell them whatever you want to tell them. I'm gonna cut the deal over here. We're gonna make this money. Just make your people believe that you're working for them. As long as you do that, that's gonna keep them quiet. You cool with that, Demetri? Okay, that's how we gonna do it. And that's how they doing your dumb asses on reparations.
Right, a good example here, and I just put this up, and this is a fact. Republicans have, and I'm not a Republican. I've never been a Republican. Republicans have never denied reparations. Never. In the modern age. I'm talking about the modern Republican Party. You want to know why? The Democrats have never put it up for a vote.
And I want to address this too. So yeah, Kathy is saying minimum. And even in $15 a minimum wage is not a living wage. I mean, at all. And really, depending on where you live, I guess it could be considered a living wage. But even at minimum, it should be about $25 an hour. And
if you're gonna give somebody $25 an hour, I need my ketchup in my bag when I come from out the drive-thru, man. They ain't giving me no ketchup. I don't get no syrup in the morning with my pancakes. Y'all ain't gonna be around in these fast food restaurants messing up people's orders, getting $25 an hour.
Yeah, and no napkin, no damn napkin.
Wait, no, stop. Y'all hating, first of all, and I'll tell you one thing. If I was making $25 an hour at a fast food restaurant, you have some ketchup, I might show you a little cleavage. I mean, I'm just saying, I'd be a little bit more happy if I was making $25 an hour at a fast food restaurant. But I mean, we got to get to the point to where we just say people deserve, because you know what? Burger flipping is a job, regardless of what you say, because somebody going to have to flip the burger. Because if we won't go to these restaurants and ain't nobody doing, we going to be mad. Pay those people $25 an hour. Hell, people even got mad when it's talking about paying them $15 an hour. That's too much money.
I think they deserve more money. All the thing I'm going to say, don't go up in them restaurants and in a convenience store with your ass on your back, getting $25 an hour and think I'm gonna let you make it, man. I'm not gonna let you make it, man. Don't put no ketchup in my bag. Gonna be trouble. Gonna be trouble.
You know what? I done wrote on myself. It don't make me no never mind if they make 20. I want people to make all the money they can make. And the other thing I want to address is Sharonda, you said you liken the unemployment to a handout. You basically said you're making $900 an hour, $900 a week. You wish you could stay at home and get a handout. If that's what you really wish, then I don't know what to tell you, because but for the grace of God, there go you, where you didn't have to, wait in the unemployment. I know people who are still waiting for unemployment to get back to them, trying to figure out how they're going to make ends meet. So the fact that you can sit up and say you making $900 a week and you wish you can get a handout, to a lot of those people, they didn't ask for the situation they're in. A lot of those people, and now I ain't talking about just burger flippers, people who have some damn good jobs, did not ask to be put in that situation. So to call it a handout, I think that's kind of backhanded. And I think sometimes we need to change the way we look at things and say, well, thank God I'm not having to be in that situation.
Well, here's my thing. Whether it's unemployment or all this extra assistance, let me. I'm gonna go slow for y'all again. When you taking that, you're crippling yourself. Get off your behind and go handle your business. The more you sit there and let them Democrats create these programs that keep you dependent on the government, the longer it's gonna take for us to get to where we trying to go, man. They do it on purpose, dog. Look at all your school failures. Is that in citizen states that have Democratic control? Why is it everywhere there's Democratic control, everything is failing? It's a reason for that. So they can keep you dependent on the government. So for me, you keep your 1,200, you keep your unemployment, I hustle and get mine. I don't want nothing from them people, man.
Well, those programs are for people who need them. And I don't think there's any shame in you needing those things, right? And I just think sometimes it gets, the train jumps the track when we try to liken people who did not ask to be put in a situation they're in. We liken them to people who are needy or expecting somebody to do something. But hell yeah, I expect somebody to do something for me if I lost my job due to something that was out of my control. Because you know what? Somebody was on our show a little bit ago talking about in Texas alone, landlords are owed $4 million for back rent. So the landlords aren't giving people a break. So why y'all mad at me if I need to get an unemployment check? I need to be able to take care of my bills too, because I don't want to sleep in my car. It's nice, but I don't want to sleep in that motherfucker. So
people always, and a lot of people get this in their mind that these people need help, is not their fault. A lot of this shit is their fault. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get in your head right now. A lot of this is y'all fault. See, some of y'all got some nasty ass attitudes. You go to work and want to act like you run the company. You just work there. So when they fire you, or they done did you wrong. I'm just being straight up with you, man. All this handout stuff, I get it with the seniors, special needs people, but you able-bodied young black people need to get off your ass and go find you a job somewhere. You need to go cut some grass or something, man.
You know, because people forget, in the 70s, in 1968, LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, President of the United States, made a statement before he signed the, I forgot, the Civil Rights Act or whatever act it was. I forget which one it was. And he said, by signing this document or law, I will have these niggers voting Democrat for the next 500 years. And that law pretty much brought about affirmative action and all these different programs that were supposed to be for ADOS, but of course other people came in and took advantage of those resources. But one of the main things that it did was it opened up housing, government housing to people. Now, if you're a single mom, and that's when the black woman bought into the, you know, the NOW movement, you don't need no man, right? You don't need no man. One of the stipulations to get government housing and to get government vouchers was, your man can't be in the house. And that broke up a lot of black families. This is all being done by Democrats, Dixiecrats. And we're still suffering a little bit about that from today, because there is still a lot of women out there that have taught a generation of young people, because all they see is mom or whatever, you know, especially the girls. Oh, I don't need no man, or I can get my own. There's nothing wrong with getting your own. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's nothing wrong with having a husband or a partner to help you as well.
But as soon as you start almost doing good enough to get off of assistance and be able to fly on your own, they clip your wings. I grew up with 3 pairs of sweatpants. That's all that lady could afford. I didn't have nothing. I've been working since I was 16 years old. When I left to go to college, when I left the first time to go to college, my mama didn't have to spend a dime. I worked. I was responsible. A lot of us don't want to be responsible. You think that you're grown, a lot of people, because you wear a thong and it look good on your ass. You think you grown because you can chunk your D like you a porno star. But you can't even buy you a damn sandwich to feed yourself or your family. Stop making them excuses. You looking at a man that done lost everything 4, 5 times. And I just keep getting up, going back and get it. So if I can do it, you can do it. My education was limited. Remember, I'm back in school. All these years I was limited educational wise, but I didn't make excuses. And I don't need nobody to give me nothing. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go do it. That's the way my daddy would. When he lose his job, he go pick cans. He wasn't too proud not to feed his family.
And I'm going to say this. I'm from California, so in California, we hustle, okay? We going to make $1 out of 15 cents all day long, okay? So I'm going to say that. And I come from, both my parents was hustlers. My mom was a publisher, wrote 5 books. My dad is a Rhodes Scholar, okay? My dad is the Iron Dad. My daddy wrote the book on entrepreneur. My whole family are entrepreneurs. Hell, I'm about to hold this shirt up to you right now. Okay, hold the vote until. If you want one, we got them. Okay, so the point that I'm making is I hold the vote. You know, Donovan too. I get it about hustle, but I think it comes off a little bit elitist, and you know, well, there's something wrong with you if you need those things. Now we know those things are temporary for people to, you know, get off their feet. We know a lot of people have made it into a lifestyle. That's wrong. It shouldn't be a lifestyle. But I'm not into demonizing people for doing what they need to do to get to the next level. And like I said, I know a lot of people who, hell, we talked about this on my show a couple of minutes ago. You guys follow D.L. Hughley. D.L. Hughley, y'all saw he fell out from the COVID. I swear for God, I was telling Al, I said, That man was not out there on that Chitlin circuit because he wanted to be. I said he needed to be out there. And then lo and behold, later on last night, I saw a video that said D.L. Hughley lost 70% of his income when the COVID hit. And right away, I said, I knew it. That man was out there because he has bills to pay. He had lost damn near all his money. And so especially something like the COVID is not anybody's fault. So it's affected people from all walks of life, the very wealthy, if you will, and the very poor. And so I think, you know, if it's there, you should use it. But of course, you want to be able to, you know, take care of yourself in the long run.
You say you're a hustler. You from Cali, you're a hustler, right?
All day, baby.
If they can hustle that weed money, they can hustle that rent money.
Where you gonna hustle the money from if ain't nobody got no money?
They hustling that weed money. They hustling that pill money.
You know, everybody see, but that's.
When you get to Houston, I'm gonna roll you through the hood and let you see them hustling that weed and pill money.
Let me dig into my book. I was trying to figure out exactly what fallacy that is. It's a fallacy, nevertheless. But to say that everybody is hustling weed or has the ability to hustle pills and weed money, I mean that's a false narrative. Everybody ain't on
Well,
it.
I don't want to shock you with this, baby. But the one thing I know about black folk is we gonna come up with money for what we want to come up with money for.
Buy what we want, prepare for what we need. But I'm not gonna demonize us for using the system, because you know who else uses the goddamn system? It's those Asians, those Mexicans. The only difference between them and us is when they get $1,200 on a food stamp card, they go buy some beans and rice, and they eat on a very small amount of that, and then they go hustle some dinner plates and sell it and flip over those food stamps. But
okay, you too sensitive. You too sensitive tonight. You started talking about housing, you started talking about rent, but I could have sworn when the pandemic first started, we started trying to tell these people, get your money right, make sure you pay your bills, because in a couple of months, they're going to come back and they're going to want all this money. We told them that.
Brother Gary, if I'm making $7, because some of y'all said that the minimum wage in Texas at $7.25, if I'm making $7.25, how much more of a discretionary income do I have? Which is why I was saying that the minimum wage needs to be raised to give people. You guys know what living wage is? It means that I'm able to live on the money I make if I have to go get $2 or $3, $7.25 an hour job. So we are yes, the optimal choice is for people to have all these ducks in a row. I get a little feedback. Have all your ducks in a row, have a nice big nest egg. Some people have that, but a lot of people didn't. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. And so that's why I was talking about the normal that we just came from. Nobody should have to go back to normal. In California, over 50% of the homeless population lives in California alone, and there are more Black homeless people in the whole nation. So the other point I'm going to make really quick is that's why it's important for us as Black people to learn to do for self. We are depending on the Republicans and the Democrats. We're fighting over who's going to be the better massa instead of saying this is what we need to do. Let's start practicing group economics. So when another COVID or hurricane and you guys are getting ready to get hits, we are able to take care of our people. And we don't hear stories about people who need to, who are waiting on their unemployment since February. We're able to help each other.
Man, some of these dudes was broke before the COVID even came here. They wasn't doing right before the COVID came. How in the hell you getting evicted and your rent $5 a month?
You know what? It's the same reason that people who got rent that's $5,000 a month is getting evicted.
Don't go there, D. That means you can pay a whole year with $60. But they'll take that $60 and they'll go to the crawfish place and get them the crab legs in the bag with all the funky garlic.
What I never do is pocket watch other people. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some days, yeah, my rent is $60. Now listen, I'm not saying people don't trick off money. People trick off money from all, tax brackets. They just do that. But the point that I'm making is I think we should get out of the habit of demonizing people and trying to tell people what they should do with their money. One of my favorite sayings is not in the Bible, contrary to popular belief, there, but for the grace of God, there goes I. I'm glad that is not me. But, it could be me. And if it was me, I would not be. And I'm not saying y'all doing this, but I wouldn't be looking down on other people and talking about, I wish I was getting that. No, you don't. You don't
Well,
wish it.
I don't want to demonize them either, D, and I don't want to, me and you, we just having a spirited discussion. I don't want to demonize them, but I don't want to keep getting my goddamn taxes raised up because these people don't want to do what the hell they supposed to do. Now, when the rent man come, Mr. Monroe got to pay his rent. Car note got to be paid. Insurance got to be paid. You feel what I'm saying? So if I got to get up out of there and go put on my speedos and go grab me a pole, I'm gonna go get that money, man. I'm gonna go get that money, man. I'm sitting there watching these folks like right now on Dixie Drive. If you in Houston, y'all know Dixie Crunk right now. Flex back open, Dreams back open. Man, them people over there looking off all the rest of the stimulus money. And they the first one in line with their hands out. Yeah, I don't mind people getting help. But when you do that and you keep abusing the system, that makes me, you, Donovan, and all other hardworking people have to spend more of our money to put into that system to take care of some of these lazy bums.
I have a question real quick. I want you guys to think about this. If the end of the world, which we're at close to right now, comes to an end, they cut off everything, what you gonna do? Are you gonna sit there and just roll over and die? You gonna sit there and
still got food in the house from when the COVID first popped? 4 ice boxes.
Right.
I'm ready.
So what I'm saying, so what I'm saying is, you have two choices. It's either survive or die. Which choice you're gonna make? And I'm always telling people this. If the Republicans cut off welfare tomorrow and they cut off the social net to help people, we're going to be okay. That might even be better for us because it would make a lot of us get off our ass and survive. Now, that's just a theory that I have, but I actually think that if we would have people that would do that and just wean us off of the tit, we would be in a better position today than we are and have been in. Because you can't tell me you're going to sit there and just die. Some of people will, but the majority of us, no, we're going to fight to survive. I mean, we've been in this shit for over 400-something years, and we haven't gone anywhere. I doubt we're just going to give up.
I'm going to be honest with you. Some of them already dead. And some of them have dead.
So again, the solution is to figure out how to help our people. That's the solution. I'm just one of those people. I understand both sides of the situation. When I was growing up, but like I said, both my parents, all three of my a stepfather who was like my father, all of them were hustlers. And it wasn't always easy. I'm used to watching my parents take risks and things like that. But I mean, I just try not to get into, demonizing people, if you will. Now, like I said, there's a lot of people who do things they shouldn't do with their money. But it was Marcus, I think, made a great point. It says, white people, not to get into the whataboutisms, but they abuse the system all the time. But it's called, like you said, bankruptcy. And all they do the white collar shit. You know what I mean? And nobody bats an eye over that. But let a black woman get $1 more in food stamps, then it's like, she
the welfare queen, like Reagan said. Well, that welfare queen.
Oh, if you're gonna get $1 more in food stamps, don't sell them on the slip.
But again, Gary, that's stereotypical because not everybody does that. Not everybody sells their food stamps, on the slick or whatever you said or whatever. Not everybody does that, right? So I think we get into dangerous territory when we do those type of things. But I think it's also important to highlight group economics. If you're not getting an EBT card, then you should thank your lucky stars, right? Because if you get an EBT card, it means that you're lacking somewhere else. You don't have enough money to take care of yourselves. Because I hear people say all the time, "Well, I wish I was getting an EBT card." Do you really? You know what that means? Shut up, Donovan. You know what that means to be getting an EBT card? That means that you're lacking something. So, I mean, like I said, the better thing we should do is just, practice group economics so we can help our own people.
Final thoughts, Donovan.
My final thoughts is, again, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this until the election. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, is the definition of madness. So if you're going to sit out there and continually give your vote to the Democratic Party, and you're living in the hood or in a bad neighborhood, or you're on the system, and you keep giving your vote away and expecting nothing for it, you deserve exactly where you're at.
Well, I want to just say, I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. And I want to actually close mine with 2 comments at the end, where Marcus says a lot of women are selling food stamps to help cover that rent and pay for that gas to get them back and forth to that half-ass underpaying job. And Al says, as Black people, we can't bash the have-nots. The other races don't talk down on their less fortunate. And and Corliss says, if you work at Walmart full-time, you still qualify for food stamps. And nobody's talking about that. Walmart is the biggest benefactor of socialism. They get the most money from the food stamp program because they're, like she said, their employees, they go to work sometimes full time and they need cash aid to some degree and food stamps. So they're working. They're not sitting on their ass at home, but they still need help. But again, I always say, there, but for the grace of God, there go I. But at the same time, we need to figure out how to get out of being so needy, which is why we depend on something like the Democratic Party. Because you talk to a lot of Black people too, we always say, oh, the Democrats are for the people. They help people. And then you say, well, what kind of help are they giving you? And then it'll usually lead to that kind of stuff. Well, that's not help. That's a hindrance if they expect for you to stay there and not help you find a way to surpass being needy, if you will. The end.
My final thoughts are simple. If I got to go to work, take your Black ass to work. If I feel I want to advance myself, I'm going back to school to get that done. Why don't you try it? Just like some people got to sell the stamps to get, to pay the gas bill or whatever. And some of y'all selling stamps to buy the gas. You want that gas, that weed. Now, I know it for a fact because I done sit there and watch you do it. I see you sell the stamps to get money to go get hair. Won't buy your kids no food because you need new hair. I've just gotten to a point where I done seen it enough to where I'm not falling for it no more. Reverend Demetri can preach that sermon every night to y'all. I will not be a participant in that church. I've given too much time and money to bullshit. It is time for you youngsters to get off your behinds and go get you an education or a trade or go to get you a job. Do something besides what you're doing. Remember, I'm the dude that got to mentor some of y'all. So I know you're full of shit. I already know. You feel what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Another spirited discussion. Some nights we ride the same horse, and then other nights we got to take donkeys to the Kentucky Derby. I want to thank you for tuning in with my co-host, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetri K, and I am the 5-star general. Meet me tomorrow night at the Work Source. Bring your social security card. Let's see if we can get you a job. Holla.